Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone in between, I have just been invited to organize the pre-wedding ceremony for Cody McAuliffe. Just saying, hi, I'm Navdeep. And what's your name?
Cody McAuliffe.
Oh, yes, I did just say that. Welcome to... It's my second time on the show. Bless up.
Second time interviewing Cody as well.
Yeah.
You didn't allow me to interview you the first time.
I just need to... But do you want to interview me now?
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine.
It's for the holographics mirror reflection. Anyways, we're going to interview each other. Cody, hi.
Hi.
So we've known each other since 2022-ish.
Yep.
Almost half a decade, some would say. What's been the biggest inflection point this year?
In our relationship or?
Sure. We could start there, then in life in general. I think that'd be the same, but.
Biggest inflection point of the year. The most recent shifting of seasons for me, which is shifting, which comes with burning down of many offers. Every 3 years, I go through a trajectory where I burn everything down and I change the niche, I change the offers, I change everything. Every single year, there's a micro change. I call it ADHD, call it being an activator, call it whatever you want to call it. It's what happens.
Wow.
So been through that inflection point this year because it's 3 years
Since holographics.
Since holographics was
Wow.
probably birthed. So that's been a transition. I've learnt that most of the time it doesn't need an absolute burning down, but I still like to burn it down a little bit. So I turned down the switches a little bit now. So
What does it give you, the burning down? Shadow work.
And now begins the coaching session. It gives me joy.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm a grower. I like to innovate and start things more than I like to continue them for life. And the learning that you get from starting something new that you just can't get from something else. Yes, there's finer distinctions that you can access without it, but the level of aliveness that you get from starting something brand new or the perception of such, you can't compete with that.
So you're in aliveness mode right now?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Shocking.
And there's God mode and then there's aliveness mode. And then when they intersect, you've got a model. And in the middle there, that's my life.
So talk to us about the stages of you, quote unquote. It doesn't sound like burning things down. It sounds more like building something up.
Well, when you stop an offer altogether, when you turn it off, when you say, I'm no longer going to take people into it, there is an experience of the identity death that goes along with that and the burning down of that. So for some things in my business, like the certification, that means, no, you can't do that anymore.
Wow.
And people go, oh, yeah. We're running our 3-day Become an Explorer event, Holographics Level 1. If you haven't been through it, what are you doing with your life?
Will you continue to run this?
Yeah, in a different way.
How so?
So let me finish the bit first.
This is called confrontational psychology, Cody. You showed me a model for this.
I did show you a model for this. I've empowered you too much. Oh, no. So in the event, we just ran a holographics on the other week.
Yeah.
And someone's like, all right, can I get certified in this? And I'm like, yes, just not anymore. Because our very last event on certifying people is next weekend. And that's the level 2 of it. So you can't actually go through it anymore. That will probably be the only people that get certified in it ever in its current iteration. That will evolve over a period of time. And that also means that our level 1 holographics dramatically changes too. So we started at 11 a.m. on day 1 of the last one. So normally it's a very long event and we condensed it down, made it shorter.
Okay.
Because it's this funny thing, right? You're like, oh yeah, I'm creating flow and you're trying to get fastest possible results in the shortest possible time. So like double your flow, double your results, right? Result. That's an event we run. And then it's like, oh, well, how much are you hustling, bro? And the answer was a lot.
Wow.
So I'm like, all right, well, how do we do it in a more effective way? Also, we had a small group and we had someone flying in from like America and we're like, oh, well, they
do
fly.
this
Yeah.
for America.
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah. People flying from all over the world. We've got another guy flying in from Qatar next week. He's also tried to fly in like a dozen times and wars and cyclones and things has meant that he's never actually been to the in-person version.
How did the guy from America find you?
Magic. So there I am. I'm starting the event, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, so what are your intentions? And everyone's like, I don't have an intention. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. They're going to cop it now. And it turns out no one came through our funnel.
No what?
No one came through our funnel. Everyone came from, this has been so amazing. I've heard from so many people how amazing this is. So here I am.
Wow.
So no one came through our funnel in the traditional sense, but people came in all of the other unique ways. So they didn't have an intention. They're just like, I just knew I needed to be here. So that was a bit of a journey and a ride.
Okay. What about, this is fun, dude. You should get me to do this more often. So tell me, the way that you interface with Jackie, your soon-to-be wife,
yep,
and your community, your nearest and dearest, the way that you interface with your nearest and dearest during your transitioning of burning things down, how is it different now to what it was, say, 3 years ago and 3 years before that?
I talked to people this time. It was weird.
Go on.
So if I look at many of my other seasons of burning things down, I'm a very internal processor. I am happy to sit in silence for hours on hours on end processing things, and then when I'm ready, I will share things. And that has created a certain level of result in my life in previous seasons. And for this one, there was an extra dynamic to what I've been stepping into with me dialing up one of the dials. And
what do you mean?
I'm dialing up the dial of speaking at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I dial that dial up, and that dial has like always been there since 2020. We've run every year some form of speaker or facilitator training. It's the place where you come to have a psychic experience, apparently. That's how someone likes to promote it. That's when I found out I was a psychic.
That is when I found out.
That is. So bringing it all together, that's what
we're going to do for your ceremony. We're just going to run that same event.
No. You want to go through that transformation again? I'll go the next level deeper if you want.
Bro, let's do it.
All right, here we go right now. So that's a dial that's always been there. I have certain dials that are always there. There's always business. There's always some level of transformation. There's always some level of speaking. And that dial is a dial that I've been turning up, but also that then has brought up a new level of humaning experiences with, one of my best friends being someone who does the same kind of work.
Wow.
So it's created a different dynamic of how I've related to it. And instead of being a entirely internal processor, I have spoken to people about it, ironically, because what am I stepping into? Using your voice.
Wow.
So you got to be the embodiment of what the fuck you're talking about, right? And recognizing where I like to have it perfectly clear and eloquent and modeled before I bring it to the world, rather than being there. And that was something that really became evident to me in the last visionary of I'm on stage and I'm recognizing how much I talk about all the processes that I've done in the past, rather than like what's alive for me in that moment and what I'm actually journeying in that moment. And I recognize that I had created a distortion of the work that you've done versus the what are you journeying and what's alive for you in that moment. So I had this recognition that there is opportunity for me to be able to evolve my relationships to my inner work, because I've done all the inner work, right? So I tell myself. So I market to people.
Are you doing inner work right now?
Maybe.
What are you working on internally at the moment?
How I can get you like actually round glasses so that they're like
dude.
circular.
These are lit, right?
Because it's all about just changing your lenses, right?
Hey, what a guy. Where was this humor at lunch, man? You were just eating.
I was eating. I told you. You said, what do I love in my life right now? Eating. I'm hungry. Let me eat.
Our socializing from now on is going to be exclusively podcast. I'm glad you're finding the humor in this. I can see it on your face. Peace, bless up.
Yeah. So, a really weird question to ask would be like, all right, let's talk about this speaker codes thing, Cody. Well, I'm so glad you asked, Navdeep. Insert paid promotion right here, guys.
I feel like we need to get you like an electrolytes sponsorship. It'd be very
Electrolytes.
It's like, you know, what's his name? Huberman. Yeah. It's the next level, bro. So, yes, you haven't. It's been a while, Cody. It's good to see you.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's good to see me too.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I'm glad I'm that reflection. So tell me about the speaker codes. Codes?
Well, I had this epiphany, right? I recognized my name was Cody, so I thought I had to run an event about being Cody or the code that you are, right? Then it'd be like, because everyone talks about codes, right? But is it in their name?
Navdeep.
No, it's depth is in the name, and navigating that depth, right?
Wow. It's deep,
Wow.
bro.
That is good to have that navigation on board.
I like your hypnosis voice. It's very sultry.
Oh, it's come in handy parenting.
Oh, yeah?
Because Max is like wild child and running around. So Jackie uses story time before bed as working on her speaker voice, and mine is working on my hypnotic voice to down-regulate his nervous system.
Wow.
So that we can get calm and ready for sleep. And she's like using inflections, and I'm like, and Bluey and Bingo were ready for bed.
Wow.
Very different energies.
I'm at peace, dude.
Yeah, isn't it nice to be at peace? Do you know how hard it is for someone like an activator to like slow down that much? It's hard because you're like normally like reading through the book, reading through Bluey, and you're trying to get through as fast as you can. You're like, yep. And then Max also knows all of the words. He doesn't know how to read, but he knows all of the words.
Like just verbatim?
Yeah.
Wow.
So he'll be like, oh, you missed that page.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's so Cody.
Yeah.
So speaker codes.
Yeah, speaker codes.
What's happening at speaker codes? How can people find out more? Will this episode even be out?
Oh, who knows?
Talk to us about the new chapter, mate. What's going on? What are the people? Yeah,
I have this lens where I'm looking for what are the common threads throughout everything all of the time. And some of the common threads we've already talked about, but another one of those is flow. And I saw an ad recently from Stephen Kotler, and he's like, one of the easiest ways to be able to get flow is to speak on stage. Yeah.
is he doing a speaker training too?
I think he's got like a program on it or something. But if you understand he learned his TED Talks,
Ouch.
as in he said it thousands of times in the mirror.
Wow.
And that's, if you want to go down that path, go for it. That's definitely not the path of aliveness for me. Which is, the shift into creating an event which has all of the themes that I like: transformation, business, speaking, flow. It's like, how do you unlock a deeper sense of flow on stage? How do you start to bring that into every area of your life as well? Because it's easy to be able to do it on stage to a certain degree, and most people already perceive that they're confident on stage, but there's deeper levels than that, isn't there, Navdeep? Do you remember we had that conversation too?
Bro, my right hand side lower back is pulsating right now. What's going on?
What's it saying to you? What does the energy flow of the universe want to communicate to you?
Whoa.
Just get out your credit card and we will find out together.
Oh man.
So yeah, for me, it's bridging each of the pieces, the unlocking deeper senses of flow, and most people don't know too much about flow. They don't understand that actually to get into a flow state, you need to have between 3 and 4% more challenge.
Really?
Than skill. I'm going to say that again. You need to have 3 to 4% more challenge than skill that you currently have. So what happens is when you're playing a video game, right, you're playing a video game and you got a certain level and you can't get past a certain level. That's because the challenge is above your skill set. And flow occurs when it is just above. The challenge is just above your skill set, because then you grow and expand, grow and expand, and grow and expand, and your skills start to raise and you get into flow and it becomes this perpetual growth experience. Most people don't understand that. And most people don't understand that if you're confident on stage, that just means that you're not challenging yourself on stage.
Oh.
Does that mean that you have to go to the absolute extreme of creating challenge in every single aspect? No, that's probably going to over challenge you, and it's probably just going to burn your nervous system. It is how do you create micro shifts that are going to allow you to be able to create this flowing effect of growth that stacks on top of each other, so that every single time that you're on stage, you're getting exponential growth rather than just like this little area over here. So the example of that is, if for me, one of the natural tendencies for me is to teach. I can teach, here's a model. So there I'm in the event, and I sometimes say my internal thoughts externally. And I said to myself, don't teach it, you cunt. And I'm like, yep, I said that one out loud. Because I know what my tendency is to be able to go on to teach. In my mind, they ask a question. In my mind, I'm like, that model, this part, boom, we're done. They've got it, good to go. And in my mind, I'm like glitching, going, all right, well, how do I turn it into a story? How do I turn that thing into a story so that I actually remember it? Because if we continue going down the pathway of what is most natural to me, then that's a cost to me, but it's more a cost to them. They don't get it in the same way. Because if I actually go to my edge here then of what is comfortable for me and what is a challenge for me, if I start to skirt that just a little bit more, then they feel that more. That aliveness becomes moved through the room more than something that I could instantaneously recite, boom, model, done, good to go. Because then they have these really good little notes and they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. I love your models. Comparative to, holy F, my life was changed from that thing. And there were examples of that, of how that played out in the room when we're running this event, right? So I'm there and naturally I'm like, it says here, Jackie's story. So what do? I throw Jackie on stage. Tell a story. And she starts telling a story, which is perfect for the person that's like sitting in the front row, right?
Wow.
She doesn't even recognize that, but I recognize that instantaneously. Then I share my story about that same experience, right? So she's sharing about being at Bergster and how we've like fired every single team member, and then we're sitting down asking her parents for money because we've fired every single team member. We churned through all of this cash. We're living on the water. Even our housemate that we got in so that we could pay rent to cover the rent comes in, does that, and then they stop paying rent.
Really?
So they can't afford to pay rent either. So we've run through all of our cash, gone through all of our resources, sold the first car, sold it, use that money to fund the business. Sold the second car, use that money to fund the business.
There's no car.
No car. So we're borrowing a car from Jackie's parents. And then we go down and we sit down and we have the conversation with them. We can't pay rent. Can we have some money to pay rent?
How was that conversation, by the way?
How was it?
Yeah.
It was great. It was a Bergster, so I was happy.
Was it like an immediate yes?
They bought us my favorite burgers, so I was perfect, whole and complete in that moment. But they also said, so you've got to get your finances in order and you've got to have these account structures set up, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, we did, and we've still spent it all.
Wow.
So it was very humbling to have that conversation. And I definitely didn't enjoy it except for the burgers. I do enjoy a bit of discomfort with my burgers sometimes, but not to that level. So she tells her version of that, and that's kind of perfect for someone that's in the room. And then I tell my version of that. So you know what my version is?
What is it?
So there I'm gonna drive up to Burley and we pull up to the Esplanade there, and the dog's in the back and Jackie's in the front, and I don't let Jackie get out of the car because I know that there's a fight that we need to have. We need to have a conversation. You ever been in that room where you're like, oh, there's a conversation that needs to be had here?
Totally.
Yeah. So I'm there and I don't let her get out of the car. I'm like, all right, let's have it out here. And she's like, how are we going to make money? And I go, we've already sold everything. We've already lost all the money. How are we going to make money? She's got the baby in the belly already. What are we going to do? And I got no idea how we're going to make money. Fucks me. And in that moment I go, It doesn't fucking really matter because I know one thing. I make money. Doesn't matter what I do. If I'm fucking in my aliveness, boom, money. Also, earlier that week, I did tell her that we're also going to shut down our most profitable offer at that moment too.
So this is before the Berkster conversation.
This was after the Bergster conversation. We still didn't have money coming in, right?
But you've borrowed some.
Yeah, we borrowed some to pay rent.
Oh, you borrowed like a once-off fee. You didn't continually borrow. Wow.
Well, I think it was 2 rent payments.
Like weeks.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So you're still wondering.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So yeah, and in that time I said, you know, that bums on seats thing that we got, where all that money, that small amount of money that we do have coming in, that, you know, where that's coming from. Well, we're gonna just turn those off. We're not gonna let them pay us anymore.
So you borrow the money and then you shut it down. And are my parents aware of this?
No.
Okay. This is blowing my mind.
So I'm in that place where I'm just like we're fucking already like at nothing anyway. What's turning off, you know, thousands of dollars of payment plans to go to absolute fucking no money coming in? Like, we got a bit coming in. It's not covering the bills. It's not covering this stuff. What's fucking turning it all off going to do? It's not going to be any worse. It's already like at its worst. So why the fuck not?
That's a really curious frame of mind.
Yeah, most people don't recognize that when you've got nothing to fucking lose, you may as well just go fucking all in on the thing that you want. Most people are too busy like, oh, I don't want to lose this thing. I don't want to lose this. I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose all of these things, rather than just going fucking all in to be able to go, fuck it. Like, it can't get any worse. And there's a level of courage required in that gets you through that, but it's an entirely different level of courage to be able to step into that kind of space again when you do have something to lose. Like when you do have 2 kids, when you do have your own house, when you do have a wedding coming up. That's an entirely different level of courage to be able to step into that path again when you've got stuff to lose.
Which is what are you doing now?
That's what I've done earlier this year.
Oh. Okay, so wait. I'm confused. So let's backtrack. Earlier this year, you shut things down already.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. So we started with like the cert. And again, if we look, I didn't realize this until afterwards. Every time that we sold the cert would always be the highest sales events that we had.
Mm.
So it'd be like, you know, $100,000 here, $100,000 here, $80,000 here, $70,000 here, sales, plus upgrades and stuff that would come beyond that as well. So that's, you know, I don't know, $500,000 in like revenue line there. And it's just like, oh no, we're not going to do that one anymore. It's no longer alive, and very few people I know will go down that path. And it comes back to one of my favorite quotes by DeMartini. Do you know what he says?
What does he say?
He says, he looks down the camera and he goes, I would rather have the entire world against me than my own soul. Because most people are living other people's lives, right? They're living what creates success for them in that era, that season. But very few people are really willing to be able to let all of those things go, to go with what their soul actually most yearns to experience in this season, knowing that it's a different season, whether that's the ending of a relationship or the ending of a business model or the ending of a business. Very few people follow that aliveness to that degree. And yet that's what probably we're most yearning for in this season, with the rising of AI. It's the rising of following what's most alive for us, because right now, most industries are having massive removals of meaningless tasks that they used to do. Talk about it in my first Amazon bestselling book, The Flow Formula, of what would happen in the coming decades when technology rose. It's almost like I predicted it. Predicted it.
You do seem very alive. So You're at the Esplanade in the car,
Yeah.
having a fight, and you're like, "But there's one thing I do know: it's I make money."
Yep.
And then what happens?
So we turn off those payment plans, and then becomes
Like, how do you pay rent for week 3?
you make money. So what we did then was, let's just get the timeline right. What I did then was I launched a program for models. So I then because models were alive for me in that season, we made maybe like 55 grand cash. And then I wasn't 100% in on models, but then that was the birth of Project Scale. So it was sell something to be able to get us through this transition. That got us a bit of breathing room. And then what we created was Project Scale, which then became the famous mastermind that birthed beautiful things for amazing humans that has gone all around the world.
How are you feeling at the time? Like, you've just come out of scarcity, and now you're selling business coaching. Any emotions there? How to scale your business? That is wild.
There's two parts to it. Number one, when I was selling models, I didn't really do it from a place of scarcity. And the next bit was like, you've gone from having zero in your bank, but you've also like cut back every single expense that you can. So you're pretty lean. And when you get 50 grand kind of come in, you're going to be okay for a couple of months now. So you're good. And that was the internal process of then going to allowing what is alive to be able to be birthed into the world. That was that experience. But in pointing to what you're pointing to of the facing off with the situation of your life versus what you're teaching.
Yeah.
I know that's what you're pointing to.
Yeah. Woo!
That's an ongoing reconciliation for me. And what I've recognized over time in that is because when was it? The first time that I sold a $10,000 offer, I did it from a place of very much lack. I went to this event and they're like, right, you just got to partner with people and partnerships is the thing and blah, 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 blah. And it's all amazing. So then I ended up selling this program, which was 10 grand. And I sell it and it's got this part to it, this part to it. And I'm bringing together all the top people. It was in the fitness industry, bringing all the top people in the fitness industry. And I'm allowing them to become the best fucking mad dog at PT that they can be. And it took me about 3 months to realize that I just sold for all of the other people for them. And then I just diminished what I actually got. Because if I was selling the business part of it just as that, I could charge that $10,000 just for that. But then I was giving up like $7,000 for all of the other things. And in that was the biggest time I had the most incongruence. I'm selling business coaching and you've just done all of this work to be able to make this huge, big sale. Yeah, I did the $10,000 sale. And I'm broker than ever before. And what I was journeying in that moment was a huge level of incongruence of like, I'm teaching things that I am absolutely out of integrity with. I'm absolutely not fulfilling on those pieces. And that then creates, the downward shame spiral that I'm assuming many other people have been through as well, because if I've been through it. Yes. Oh, yes, of course. So I go through the negative downward spiral within that, and eventually pop out the other side, all of the medicine ceremonies and things that you pop out the other side of. And what I recognize from where I sit now is your circumstances are completely irrelevant to what you teach.
What? I feel like this is a whole new episode.
Your circumstances are completely irrelevant. You're teaching things from your experience, whether they're perfectly illustrated, Instagram worthy right now or not. If you only ever teach from perfection, you'll have nothing to teach. If you only ever teach from embodiment, you'll have nothing to teach. And yet when you can actually have those two pieces be separate and recognize that one part of you is based on the circumstances that you're facing off with in life and how you're showing up amid those circumstances, amid those constraints in life, and what you're actually going to do with that and turn that into the story that's going to be an inspiration to people one day, or on this side of things, only ever teaching when it's perfect. That means you teach conditionally. That means you've only got a tiny little pocket of like, I've made it and now I can go and teach the thing. It becomes, how do you hold it all? How do you hold this piece of you that feels incongruent in what you're teaching because you're not perfect at it right now? How do you hold that tension? Because that tension is actually going to seek resolution, and that's going to allow you to actually level that up and become that person. That's why one of my core teachings in our work is follow the fraud. It's like you follow that feeling, which is the feeling that forces you to move to the next level, to be able to integrate to the next level beyond where you're currently at by showing up where you are, being able to hold the tension of feeling like you're not good enough for that level and still teaching other people that are at different levels. I teach many people that are above me. Why does that happen? You always ask me that question, right? Cody, how do you get so many 7-figure business owners? Because I don't see my circumstances or my situation as my value.
What do you see as your value?
My value is inherent based on who I am. And even beyond based on who I am, my value is inherent, because what we normally do is we see our value that we give to people based on what we've done. Mm-hmm. I've done this and now I can go and teach it. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, yes, and. Yes, and. You're only ever going to teach from your experience, and whatever experience that you have is going to be the experience that you're going to bring to the world. And when you actually start to own your experience, whether that's good, bad, ugly, happy, sad, any of those things, when you teach from experience of what you've already experienced and no longer see that as your only value, then you can actually just meet people in the conversation. It's not based on what you've done. Yes, you pull upon your experience, but you're also meeting them because there's value in actually having people feel met in where they're at, right? That's why I've had conversations with people that are like, I just lost a $1.7 million business deal. I just lost a $1.7 million. It's $1.7 million this year. It's fucking weird. Probably because my favorite number is 17, but sorry guys. I just lost a $1.7 million property deal. I just lost all of these things. Even though I've never experienced any of those things, I can hold people to the depth based on what they've been journeying to be able to allow them to be able to see that their circumstances are not defining them, they're defining them. And when you define yourself based on circumstances and constraints and situations, then all that you can do is minimize yourself. You can conditionalize your worthiness, comparative to seeing yourself as worthy regardless of where you are, what you are, and who you are. That's showing up from the place of actually seeing yourself as inherently worthy. Beyond the intellectualization of that, it's the seeing of that. Because when you recognize it doesn't matter what the fuck you do, you make money, regardless of all of the things that you face, regardless of your bank account, regardless of how much debt that you have, because it's fucking funny. The more money you make, the more debt you can get. Because what happens then is you're just like, oh, I can get an Amex. There's an extra, 30 grand there. I can get an overdraft account. There might be an extra 30 grand there. There's another credit card here, there. Got all these outstanding things over here. And then you realize, there could be like maybe an extra $100,000 that you're in debt now beyond everything else. Maybe that's an experience.
That happened to you?
Maybe.
Were you in 100 grand debt, bro?
Maybe. Not including having kids and a house that you're paying off. That's just business stuff, right? And do you let that define you? Do you let that stop you? Or do you recognize that your circumstance and your situation is completely irrelevant to your value in the world?
That's really interesting.
It is. Because most people don't come back from investing in one thing that never worked out. They ride that pony till the cows come home. Didn't work out. Lots of things haven't worked out for me. But it all worked out in the end, didn't it?
Whoa. I think that's the end of the episode, bro. I think we've peaked. Thanks.
Shit's gonna break in business and in life. There's going to be constraints. There's going to be things that are going to be disappointing. There's going to be things that don't work out how you intended. And the speed at which you come back to being where you are determines your ability to create beyond your circumstances. Because I can wallow in $100,000 of debt in the business, and then what happens?
Cycle.
Yeah, you just loop in that. I can wallow in shutting down offers. I can wallow in that conversation with Jackie or at the Esplanade. I can wallow in that. But then nothing changes. And if nothing changes, nothing changes.
Thank you, Cody McAuliffe. Where do people go to find out more about your new offers?
I'm not finished.
Really? You got a question for me?
Yeah.
Whoa!
How's it feel being the interviewer?
At home.
At home. Yeah, like to have it off you, the attention off you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah, well, it happens with everyone. People disconnect the attention from themselves. You know how I do it?
Teaching?
Yeah, there's teaching, but it's also, it's just any level of deflection. So deflection is like, how do I get the energy off me? And sometimes people are like, look at me. That's how they get the energy off them, because they know that eventually if you keep saying, look at me, 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 people will stop looking. Everyone will deflect, and mastery becomes the acute awareness of where you deflect, when you deflect, and then how quickly you return to being where you are. I wish I could say I was perfect at that, but sometimes it takes me months.
What do you mean being where you are?
You can only ever be where you are. But as soon as we're in our mind, are we where we are, or are we, I wish I wasn't $100,000 in debt, or I wish I didn't have to shut down my business, or I wish it was easier, or I wish it was this. That, by definition, is pointing to us not being where you are. And all change occurs, firstly, from being where you are. First job of a coach is to get people present to their present state. Most people will say, oh yeah, I know what's going on for me. And it's like, are you present? Are you fully present to exactly where you are? Oh, okay, cool. Well, then you might have to bottom out a little bit more. And that is difficult to be with people in when they're in the most deepest and darkest experiences of their life. And yet, that is the time and place where they most yearn to be met. That's different to coaching high-level people. That's meeting high-level people as the people are by getting present to them where they're not present to their life and what's playing out for them. And that becomes that example of embodiment for them to be able to create shifts with that beyond the external results of the 7-figure business or 8-figure business or fucking 100 people in a 3-day event by February next year. So that's the dance of it. How would you sum up this episode in one sentence? So notice how I push back to you, right? Where's the energy go?
If you wallow, it creates more wallowing. If you're here, it creates more hearing.
Nice. I'm hearing you, bro. I'm hearing you.
Well, I look forward to episode 3, man. You got a couple of sessions booked up, don't you?
Yeah. Thanks for taking the time. Appreciate you. Appreciate you bringing your wisdom and your directional questioning and taking us where we're meant to go for this episode.
Love you, bro. Here's to the pre-wedding ceremony.
Love it.
We should just do a whole interview.
We totally should. I know the groomsmen would love that. They both love to talk.
Can you imagine? That would be wild.
It's just a 5-way podcast. You know?
Yeah, we should do a 5-way podcast. That'd be wild.
We'll see.
Okay.